Alright friends, it's T-Man. We're back again with another Blaha video, bro. Yeah, we're gonna react to the gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness, gear slave himself, Jason Blaha. So Blaha, this morning he says, excessive muscle soreness is not normal on a good training program. Okay, my friends, it's not good to have that. Okay. He's on a live feed right now, eh? Talking nonsense right now. Let's see. Let's just go there and just check it out for a second. Here he is, live feed. Look, it's Blaha.
They're really not relatable, are they? That's what people forget. Because these guys, they're bloated in extreme body weights and they cut and they're not 10%. They're cutting.
He's talking about bodybuilders and stuff. Like he knows anything about that.
Into ridiculous body fats. Right? Ridiculous body fats. Vacuum pose for sure. These guys are so bloated that their vacuum poses, yeah, they wouldn't be able to do one.
Okay.
So,
anyway, let's go back to the video. That's some ridiculous shit. You know, Blaha, typical.
extreme muscle soreness or DOMS is not actually normal. Hey everybody, it's Jason.
Extreme soreness or DOMS is not normal. So it's not normal to have DOMS, okay?
Here, and I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today, but a quick reminder.
It is normal in the eccentric exercise to suffer from DOMS in the eccentric exercise, so it is normal. It's accompanied by that. Now, I don't know what you suffer from in concentric exercise. Oh, I know what it is. You have a loss of muscle lifting concentrically, so that's normal. Yeah.
If you guys will please click like down below, I would greatly appreciate it. If you would subscribe or follow if you are not yet, I would appreciate that also. And if you would be so kind as to drop me a comment down below just to say hello or to give your thoughts on the video, your input, I would appreciate that. So thank you so much. So let's hop over to the topic. Yeah, soreness is not normal. It's normal when you're new to training. It's normal. Due to
soreness is not normal. It's normal due to new training. Okay, yeah.
Novel training response.
And if that's true, then you guys will never ever make gains. You're never going to make gains if that's true. So that means that you got it. That was your newbie gains. Get it? And now you're never getting it again, so you're never building. Okay.
But generally speaking, we shouldn't be sore all the time. Am I saying we should never?
Yeah, but the problem is eccentric exercise is associated with DOMS. It's associated with DOMS. So I don't understand what he's talking about. He says it's not normal.
Be sore? No. I mean, we're all going to have a muscle that's going to get sore once a week or something here or there. You know, some...
We are? Well, it depends if you did something you weren't accustomed to doing. Maybe you've done a few extra sets or a few extra reps. I don't know. That you never did before. That means you were unaccustomed doing that.
Soreness if you're training really hard. Fairly common.
Look, he's just a bloated bag of shit. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy makes you look like this, like Blaha. You don't look good. When your muscle's dense, you look better. You look more like a body, like what you call bodybuilder or aesthetic look. He says he's trying to get an aesthetic look, so he lowered his body fat, but he's eating carbs all day. Look, he eats more carbs than he eats protein. It's an ugly look. It's ugly. It's ugly, bro. Unless he takes anabolics, I don't know, like heavy duty anabolics, like really good stuff. Maybe, you know, cosmetically he could change this look, but other than that, he looks terrible, dude. Like, just look at him. He looks terrible. I don't know, whatever. It is.
But we're talking relatively small amounts, and here's a perfect example. The people who, on their leg day, they're like, man, I'm crippled the next day after a leg day, and I'm like, is it your first leg day?
No, that's good then. That means that they were doing eccentric exercises. So that means it's good. Now, if you lift concentrically, of course you're not going to get any of that because it's not associated with damage, concentric exercise. It's associated with a loss of sarcomere series.
Did you not do one in 3 months? I'm like, well, no, it's like that every week and almost one.
Every week? Well, if it's every week, that's good because that means they're getting a good workout eccentrically.
skip leg day because it's like, okay, so why are you guys doing that to yourself? Are you like looking at these memes talking about leg day and then trying to push so hard that you get sore because maybe you've created a preconceived notion that you're supposed to get sore? Like something's going on because it shouldn't be that sore. I personally do get a little bit of quad tendon, numb.
Well, it's not like I want to get sore. It just seems to be accompanied with eccentric exercise. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Like this, God, man, blah is just ridiculous. Look, eccentric exercise associated with DOMS. Yes, eccentric exercise is strongly associated with delayed onset muscle soreness. Why is that? Eccentric exercises where a muscle lengthens during contractions are more likely to cause what? The microscopic muscle damage that leads to DOMS. Wow, that's incredible. But according to Blaha, that's a bad thing. Building muscle is a bad thing. You understand me? Here's the difference between eccentric versus concentric. Eccentric contractions, such as those experienced when descending stairs or during the negative phase of a bicep curl, involve the muscle lengthening as it is contracting. Concentric contractions, like lifting a weight, involve the muscles shortening during contraction. Well, if they're shortening, squeezing, ass cheek squeezing, shortening, what did you expect? Get it? Mechanisms of DOMS. Studies suggest that eccentric exercise induces more muscle damage than concentric exercise. Yes, it does. It does. Especially just eccentric without, just the concentric without eccentric, there is a zero damage. Zero. But whatever. Unless, of course, I don't know. If you put enough pressure squeezing it, like rapidly squeezing it in the just concentric, maybe there could be something there, but it'll take you forever. Anyways, so the muscle damage along with inflammation and other physiological changes can lead to the delayed onset muscle soreness and commonly known as DOMS. Okay. Timing of DOMS, 42, 72 hours after the exercise bout. Prevention, you want to prevent it? Well, become adapted and you won't get any of that. You won't get any growth, okay? It's really simple, dude. Anyways, you get the idea. I mean, all science will tell you that. Hold on. Where was this? Is there an NCBI thing here at the bottom? Physiopedia. Well, they tell you the same thing, too, right? After unfamiliar, unaccustomed, intense exercise. That, too, can get you DOMS as well. It can trigger it as well. So there you go. But mostly eccentric exercise gets you that damage. It's kind of obvious. Anyways, let's go back to the video.
Sometimes a little bit, depending upon what my workloads look like. But for me, that's always from machine work, not my actual squats. Occasionally get some glute DOMs, occasionally get pec DOMs. So these things happen.
We get some pec DOMs and whatever. These things happen. I guess he doesn't want to build muscle. Okay.
These things happen. Yeah. And I'm saying that as a guy who's a 500-pound squatter, and then I do high rep leg work too. Right?
He's just a loser. He can't admit that what he's doing is wrong. He can't admit he's a failure. He lifts. His lifts are failure. It's failure lifting, okay? He just can't admit it to himself. There's a lot of people like that online, bro. They will try to convince you that they're strong, lifting something heavy off the floor or some bullshit. And they're like, bro, the evidence is it's overwhelming, but they're so stubborn because they just are. You understand me? They wanna perform, and so it looks better performance-wise. It looks better to them if you lift concentrically, and it looks better around other people. That's why they have powerlifting. The performance of powerlifting looks good, but that's not building. Powerlifting is not building. Bodybuilding builds bodies. Powerlifting just builds power concentrically lifting against gravity. That's all it does. It doesn't build bodies.
You guys see me do 10s and 15s all the time for legs, right? As a 48-year-old man. So, I mean, I am clearly doing work there.
Look at him. Oh, is he going down a little bit more than usual? It looks concentric anyways to me, man. It's concentric.
Here's my thing on it.
Like, there's no full range of motion. Why aren't you guys speaking up in his comment section and complaining? Coach, why don't you do anything in full range of motion? Look at him. This is pure concentric. There's no full range of motion at all here.
There's three things that tend to cause soreness.
Yeah, what's that?
Right?
What's that, dude? What
Three
is
things that
that?
tend
I'd love to know.
to cause soreness. Four things, really. Novel training response, but infrequent training falls under that. So the fourth one I'm going to say is infrequent training.
Well, yeah, that could cause muscle damage. Unfamiliar and accustomed exercise will cause that. You'll get growth there. You'll get new growth. That's a good thing. That's actually a good thing. You get more growth.
Falls back under novel training response. You did something that your body really isn't used to, that really shocked the body. Okay,
No,
so
that's not true because eccentric exercise will always be associated with, if you do enough of it, eccentric exercise will always be associated with muscle damage. It'll be associated with DOMS.
the warning signs your body makes all the connective tissue sore, because DOMS and muscle soreness is not in your actual muscle fibers. So we need to be clear, the parts of the muscle that
Where is it then? Where does it lie?
actually grow do not get sore from training.
The muscles that actually grow that get sore do not actually grow from training? What the fuck is he talking about? I gotta go back there again. What did he say?
Thinking,
Hold on.
tissue sore, because DOMS and muscle soreness is not in your actual muscle fibers. So we need to be clear, the parts of the muscle that actually grow do not get sore from training. Okay?
They don't? He's making that shit up. He's never built a muscle in his life.
And a lot of people are not aware of that. They're thinking, oh man, my muscles are really sore, they got work. No, that's not actually where the soreness is. It's usually in the connective tissue on the ends of the fibers and the ends of the muscles. So those don't really grow as much from training. That's not what you're trying to stimulate. That's connective tissue, not actual muscle tissue. So think of it as small tendon and collagen, not the contractile proteins that make the muscle bigger.
What are you talking about? It's the micro tears, and then there's a cascade of events. The collagen and everything is ramped up. What's he talking about, man? You get micro tears in your muscles. That's what it says there from eccentric exercise. That's where the growth happens. That's what grows muscles. He says it doesn't. He's crazy.
Okay, so a novel training response like that can cause it. It means
Every report from PubMed, NCBI, just type up eccentric exercise. Bro, there's so much literature. There's nothing on concentric. Everything is eccentric, bro. Get it? Everything. It's a more superior modality. Look, I'll show you this. Okay, I'll just use this as an example. Give me a second here. Oops. Hold on a second. Let's go here. Go to my channel, posts. Right here. There's a section here I posted recently. Here it is. It's just they're talking about young women, okay? Effects of standard and eccentric overload strength training in young women, okay? But whatever. The first part, what they mention here at the top, okay? So it says, according to the force-velocity relationship, strength velocity is very important, trust me. Force-velocity relationship of human skeletal muscle, the maximal load one can lift is limited by the concentric. So listen to what they're telling. The maximal load one can lift is limited by the concentric. They're talking about full range of motion. It's limited by the concentric movement phase and the eccentric phase is always underloaded. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? That's why you're all failing. You are all failures out there. Whoever's watching my channel, you are a failure. You understand me? Lifting conventionally, lifting in full range of motion. Want to know why? Because the eccentric phase is always underloaded. Get it, man? You understand me? Jesus. In the present study, we hypothesized that acute exercise training using an eccentric overload compared with standard loading would lead to greater neuromuscular and strength adaptations. Get it, bro? You understand now? But whatever. Anyways, you get the idea. Do I have to really do this in every video? Christ.
That can cause it. It means whatever you did, you're not doing often enough. And that's one thing I tell people, look, when you throw a new exercise in, sometimes you don't want to go 100% the first week.
Yeah, just lift adapted and recruit motor units and never build any muscle. But he keeps saying you're building muscle. He uses the word, you're building muscle, but there's no muscle being built. None of you, and neither is him, building any fucking muscle, bro. Get it? Saying you're building muscle and then actually building it are two different things.
Doing it, especially if it's something that puts you into a lengthened position. Okay? All right. So maybe not go as hard, maybe don't go crazy on the volume. Sometimes on a new lift like that, just add it in, it's permissible to go to only 2 sets. Maybe if you go 3, don't take the sets to failure. It'll cut the soreness down. You're still going to get a growth stimulus. Rep or 2 from failure on a new exercise like that, pushing it, you're going to get a
You are?
training response. You get a lot less sore.
You're not going to build anything. You're not going to build. Nothing's going to really build there. You can try, but it's not really going to build.
A lot less sore. You haven't done a front squat in a while.
Many people have tried and have failed.
Well, maybe go hold back just air the first week you do it. Just saying, novel training response. But you're also not training often enough, is usually the case. People who go take a week off, man, go take a week off on vacation from lifting and come back after a week. And actually train hard. Yeah, you're going to be hurting for days. Novel.
Yeah, you may be hurting for days. You may be hurting. I don't know if you go away for vacation and come back because, man, you don't really lift eccentrically. You understand me? Maybe full range of motion. I don't know. It depends.
Training response again.
Some people do, some people don't. Depends what they're doing.
Trained. It's a new stimulus. You took too long between. All right. Excessive muscle damage, also or excessive eccentrics. Ooh, that's a big one.
Well, listen to him. Now he brings up eccentrics and muscle damage, excessive eccentrics.
This is one reason so many people are like, oh, I love eccentrics because they make me sore. There's data at this point suggesting eccentrics may not be even as important for muscle growth as we thought. Some experts.
Oh, it's important, man. It's important. You're wrong because it will reflect, trust me, physically on you.
They're claiming they're in a normal work set. They don't help at all under, when it's only.
Well, how would he know? He's never done any eccentric exercise. So how could he know if it does or doesn't? See, here's the question, man. I run into so many video people online, these fitness influencers. They're just like idiot blaha. And they're like, oh, eccentric exercise, it's not going to do anything. Da, 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 da. Meanwhile, they've never done it. He's never done anything in his entire life other than get fat, and he lost weight now because he was fat, eating slave food diet. He was the cause of it. And so he lost the weight because he dropped the so-called calories. Anyways, these energy foods, okay? And he's trying to convince you he's bodybuilding. He's not bodybuilding, and he does powerlifting stuff, like lifting something off the floor, whatever, concentrically. He's never done anything else besides that. Now he's an expert at bodybuilding, aesthetics, or whatever. This is ridiculous.
Normal work set. This is a big debate right now. But what we do know.
He's a bodybuilding expert. Look at this frivolous exercise here. He's laying down on this thing and moving his arms. This is crazy.
Really slow eccentrics cause extra muscle damage, and they don't cause any muscle growth. That has been confirmed for 10,
This is really sad. Really, really sad.
20 years. Eccentrics that exceed about 4 seconds do not cause muscle growth. Or what I mean is they cause less. You will gain less muscle from that set, according to data they figured out a long time ago. So
Well, so you're going to gain less muscle doing eccentric exercise. Man, this is really funny. This is really funny. Let's see. He does concentric exercises, right? That's what he does. Yes, concentric exercise be associated with a decrease in the number of sarcomeres in series. So there's a loss in muscle. Yeah. While eccentric exercise is often linked to an increase in sarcomere in series. Oh, it's the opposite. He says it's not. He says you lose muscle. Sarcomere genesis. Concentric exercise, especially when combined with eccentric exercise, can lead to a loss of sarcomeres. This reduction in sarcomeres in series can change the muscle's length-tension relationship and potentially increase its susceptibility to damage from subsequent eccentric exercise. Well, it could, because you're not accustomed to doing it, but whatever. Studies have shown that chronic concentric exercise, particularly when performed at shorter muscle lengths like uphill walking, can promote the loss of sarcomere in series. This loss can be attributed to the muscle shortening, and guess what you lose? You lose your strength velocity. Yeah, you lose that power. But whatever, I don't really care. So there you go, eccentric exercise and sarcomere genesis. Well, yeah, shortening during contraction leading to our organization of sarcomere structure. It just leads to a concentric just leads to the reorganization of the sarcomere structure. Eccentric exercise and sarcomere genesis. Eccentric contractions, muscle lengthening while force is produced, are often associated with an increase in the number of sarcomeres in series and parallel. And you get parallel. So I don't know what he's talking about, man. You know what I mean? You're all people wasting your time out there. But whatever. I don't really care. I don't care about him and his channel's bullshit. Whatever. He just makes up stuff. He doesn't have any proof. He has no experience. Whatever.
time ago. So that extra time under tension is hurting you. But what it does do is make you really sore. Forced eccentric reps can make you real sore. And it's because it's creating muscle damage. And same thing with large amounts of lengthened position movements, too much of that. Same thing, causing muscle damage. People say, but don't we need that? No, muscle damage.
Yeah, muscle damage. That's how you build micro tears. You could call it muscle damage, whatever. Damage. Micro tears, bro. Get it? Muscle micro tears, yes.
It actually turns out it's not part of the growth process as we've studied.
Well, concentric exercise is associated with loss of muscle, so it's definitely part of the growth method. Either is it? You want to go there and lift to lose muscles? Is that what you're going to the gym for? I thought you were going there to build muscle. Oh, you thought you're getting stronger? Yeah, lifting concentrically. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just keep doing that. Yeah, forever. Yeah, that's great. As far as I know, eccentric exercise is associated with sarcomere genesis, dude. So. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Fatigue can be like actual mechanical fatigue occurring on the muscle fibers that you want to grow, absolutely. But the actual muscle damage, and that muscle damage, by the way, is chemical in nature. So it's like a chemical cleaving.
It's chemical in nature? No, it's not chemical. Concentric exercise is chemical. It's chemical. You're lifting, it's chemicals. It's based on hormones binding with androgen receptors and motor unit. So it's chemical, actually. Your lifts are chemical. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake strength. It's not based on muscular strength. But eccentric exercise builds your muscular strength. So you increase your natural muscular strength. So You got real strength, and it's going to be based on muscular strength, which is based on these satellite cells, which are stem cells, bro. They're not chemicals; they're stem cells. They build muscle.
And breaking down of the muscle tissue. So it's not physically pulling it apart, it's a chemical process. No, it
So
doesn't.
it's not physically pulling it apart physically. So it's not causing micro tears. So it's not pulling, it's a chemical thing that's happening. That's what Blaha says. It's chemical, it's not physical. It's not physically tearing it apart, it's chemicals. Oh, okay.
Appear to be part of the growth process, but it will make you more sore. Okay?
It's part of the growth process, but it's not part of the growth process, but it'll make you more sore. Okay.
It will cause your brain to perceive soreness. All right.
And so it makes your brain perceive that there's soreness there. Oh, okay, yeah. So I guess NCBI and PubMed, they're all lying when they tell you that it's micro tears and the satellite cell is activated and then it proliferates, differentiates into fibroblasts and a bunch of cells, and then it repairs and remodels it, extracellular matrix and all that. So I guess according to NCBI and PubMed, they're wrong. Blaha is correct. You get it? I love when this guy makes up stuff.
It's not linked to muscle growth. We know that now.
Oh, so it's not linked to muscle growth. We know that now. So eccentric exercise is not linked to muscle growth. So we have to all lift concentrically from now on and look like Blaha.
That's a big one. The other one, too much volume. You threw too much volume and too fast that you are not recovering from.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going to get sore. So if you're getting sore every time and you've addressed the others, you're not doing a bunch of crazy force reps, you're not doing a bunch of super.
Well, if you're getting some DOMs, I will give you advice. You need to go and eat a lot after that damaging session if you want to grow.
Slow negatives. You're training the muscle or the movement frequently enough, and you're doing really high volumes of training, well, you're just getting sore from the high volumes of training. You threw in more volume than you.
Yeah, calisthenic guys, they do a lot of eccentric work. I guess that's why they look so jacked. They look so jacked because it's not associated with muscle growth. Doing eccentric exercise, calisthenics, they're just jacked because, I don't know, maybe it's fake. It's fake, according to Blaha.
Get handled too quick. Let's think.
So Blaha looks like shit. There's no muscle growth because he lifts concentrically. But yet he's going to argue that lifting concentrically is what builds muscles. But lifting eccentrically doesn't build muscles. That's why all these calisthenic guys are all jacked. So they're all lifting calisthenically. They're all jacked as fuck. But that doesn't build muscle. But powerlifting builds muscles. And that's why Blaha looks small and weak. Okay.
You normally do 3 sets of an exercise, and sometimes you say, you know what, I feel like doing a 4-set today. Okay, that's not too bad, right? That's a significant increase in volume. Not the end of the world. But if it's a hard, we're not talking a leg extension for 20 reps here. We're talking something remotely hard, right? And you go from 3 sets to 6 sets. You're like, man, I got sore. I've been limping for 3 days. I can't raise my arms. Well, yeah, because you threw more volume in than you were ready to adapt.
Well, no, that's not why. It's because you threw more volume in. It's because your eccentric exercise, it either got overworked in a full range of motion or you overloaded it. That's all.
And there's no need for that. Like, you're not going to see a bunch of growth. People forget individual workouts can.
So there's no need for that. You're not going to see a bunch of growth. Why wouldn't you see a bunch of growth? Oh, because according to Blaha, it's chemical. It's not really pulling your muscles apart. You're not really getting micro tears from doing eccentrics. You're getting a chemical. It's a chemical thing. It's fake, and it's tricking your mind, making you think that you have damage, but you're not damaged. It's chemicals.
Minimally to growth. It's the accumulation over time. So jumping in and trying to just, let's just shock it and add more volume than I can recover from.
Accumulation over time that builds muscles. Okay.
All at once.
Got it.
Probably not really causing any extra growth. That 1 set would have done it. 1 extra rep will do it. Like, literally, if you've been doing 3 sets of 10 and they're hard and you squeeze in 1 more rep,
Sure.
that's a good growth stimulus.
Oh.
Okay? So these are the causes of muscle soreness, and they're not beneficial. They're
Those are the causes of muscle soreness? No. The cause of you getting DOMS or these micro injuries, these micro tears, the cause of it is either that you overworked that muscle in a full range of motion, so you got the eccentric to do more than it would usually do. In other words, you were unaccustomed to doing it or unfamiliar. It was unfamiliar doing that rep range or set range, whatever it was that you introduced. Or you just did exercises that you were unfamiliar or unaccustomed to doing. I don't know. Which vice versa, whichever. Or maybe you're doing some just eccentric overloads. I don't know what you're doing there, but those would be all the causes of micro damage.
they're not normal if you're training correctly, and that's the whole point of this.
But he's not training correctly. But Blaha's not training correctly. He's training concentrically. He's not training to bodybuild. Bodybuilding is based on eccentric exercise. I don't know, man. Whatever. I'll see you in the next one. Tell us what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. He's ridiculous.